What are the technical application characteristics of Bitcoin? Bitcoin trading. Understand Bitcoin properly. The coolest thing about Bitcoin is that any limits or laws that may be put in place by the government do not apply to it because it only exists online and never abides by the rules established by the present global financial system. Bitcoin radically altered how transactions are processed and how trades are made. We can define Bitcoin now that we are more familiar with it. But there are several Bitcoin-related problems that we should be aware of. We will therefore discuss some crucial Bitcoin concepts today. Understanding Bitcoin. The most popular cryptocurrency globally is Bitcoin. 2009 saw the introduction of Bitcoin by Satoshi Nakamoto. There are no middlemen used in Bitcoin transactions. Bitcoin is a digital currency, so you can use it to make purchases from any location in the globe. It is not a tangible object. Like conventional currency, the value of Bitcoin is not country-specific. Everywhere in the world, it has the same worth. Bitcoin is not the original cryptocurrency. We are all aware that Bitcoin was the original cryptocurrency. The truth is that since 1998, there have been numerous attempts to build cryptocurrencies before the invention of Bitcoin. There have been numerous prior attempts to develop coins that are protected by encryptions. The first cryptocurrency in the world was intended to be created by B-Money and BitGold, however, they were unsuccessful in their efforts. Bitcoin, which is created through the mining process using blockchain technology, was developed by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009. It created the first decentralized form of currency ever created. Since it was only discovered in 2010 and has since been mined, Bitcoin first had no market worth but can now be exchanged for cash. Since it was never exchanged in 2009, it was only sold around 2010 that the financial worth of Bitcoin began to take shape. Bitcoin and how it works. I am aware of your interest in Bitcoin. Then you must fully understand its aspects. It will teach you everything there is to know about Bitcoin and how it works. There are several considerations you should make when attempting to learn about Bitcoin. Nothing comes between Bitcoins and their users. The currency used in Bitcoin is decentralized. Banks and other financial governing bodies do not exist between Bitcoins and their users. Every device and company involved in Bitcoin mining and transaction processing joins the extensive network because of the way the system is built. The money will continue to flow even if a portion of the network is offline. The oversight of the financial and regulatory organizations to record the specifics of every transaction is not applicable here. A digital public ledger, called blockchain technology, keeps track of every transaction specific. Non-traceability of the transaction. All currencies today are practically linked to the banks, who keep track of your home address, cell phone number, and all of your purchasing patterns. In contrast to this transaction model, Bitcoin allows you to maintain your privacy because no personal information is disclosed in the Bitcoin wallet. Bitcoin is the best option for those who do not want their information tracked or watched over by any outside entity. There are various claims made in this regard that transactions involving undesirable products that are destructive to society may arise as a result of the non-traceability of the transaction. Fully documented Bitcoin transactions. Bitcoin is extremely private because of blockchain technology, which keeps track of every transaction you've ever made with it. Anyone who has access to your public ledger can immediately provide you with information on each transaction. Your wallet's address can be used by anyone to view all of your transactions in full detail. The ability to locate a person's Bitcoin address is still difficult. If you want to keep your transactions visible, you need a lot of addresses and shouldn't send a lot of money to one wallet. Aside from these, Bitcoin transactions are openly recorded thanks to blockchain technology, making them very transparent. No need to stand in line. From anywhere in the world, you can quickly transfer money from your wallet to another person's wallet. In the case of typical bank transfers, the transaction process from one country to another will take several days or even months. As a result, the transaction procedure is now quicker and more seamless than before. Since money is transferred digitally from one location to another, you do not need to stand in line to complete your transaction. The reliability of Bitcoin. After sending Bitcoin to someone, you cannot get it back unless that person sends it to you in its entirety. As a result, it demonstrates the reliability of Bitcoin because it is impossible to be fooled in a Bitcoin trading firm. After all, once you transfer money to someone, no one can claim that they did not receive it. Therefore, the likelihood of fraud in the Bitcoin trading industry is very low, or better still, non-existent. Therefore, to gain a deeper understanding of Bitcoin, you must be aware of both its advantages and disadvantages. Before beginning to trade in Bitcoin, investors and traders must be aware of a variety of issues. Regarding Bitcoin, there are some uncertain concerns. Most importantly, price changes for Bitcoin are highly unpredictable and uneven. You can never predict when a product's prices will gradually rise or fall. You must exercise caution in this area. Advantages of Bitcoin. The use of Bitcoin has a number of benefits that its use should be aware of. Flexibility of transactions. The entire flexibility of transactions is what motivated the development of Bitcoin. To regulate the transactional process, there are no centralized regulatory agencies present. There are no transaction fees that the user must pay to the organization when using Bitcoin. Bitcoin makes it simple to purchase anything you desire. Bitcoin is the most practical money to use for your purchases because it isn't even subject to taxes in many countries. You shouldn't worry too much. Effortless digital currency. With digital currency like Bitcoin, you may effortlessly conduct business at any time and from any location in the world. It is simple to use and transport from one location to another. Bitcoin is a digital currency, therefore any quantity of money can be kept on a flash drive or in an online storage account. Simply scan the QR code to send or receive money from one location to another. You are not required to pay additional fees or charges to government agencies in order to complete the transactions. No need to ask for permission. Debit cards, credit cards, point-of-sale systems, and other forms of transaction are all included in PCI, or the payment card industry. The cardholder is required to abide by a number of severe bank policies. You are free from the PCI requirements if you use Bitcoin. Transactions using PCI cards are restricted by some private companies. With Bitcoin, you can enter any sector that interests you. You can do that without needing to ask for more permission. Disadvantages of Bitcoin. There must be drawbacks if there are benefits, so let's talk about those now. No key, no access. A special password that can be used to access the Bitcoin wallet is contained in the Bitcoin key. It will be difficult for you to complete any transactions if you lose these keys. You must therefore approach with great caution. Extremely unpredictable. When it comes to Bitcoin, the price changes are extremely unpredictable. You can never predict when something will cost more or less. Therefore, before you decide to invest your money in Bitcoins, you need to have the right market understanding. Lacks reliable currency recognition. The percentage of acceptance of Bitcoin differs from nation to nation. It is allowed as a form of exchange in some nations, but is rejected in others. As a result, you shouldn't use Bitcoin because it lacks reliable currency recognition. Conclusion. We studied Bitcoin and made an effort to allay any doubts about its characteristics, benefits, and limitations. My only piece of advice is to make sure you learn the fundamentals of Bitcoin trading before you start if you want to fully benefit from Bitcoin.